15th of January every year remains very unique. That is the day Nigeria celebrates our fallen heroes, those who participated in all the world wars, peacekeeping operations, the Nigerian Civil War, which incidentally this year marks 50 years of the Civil War in Nigeria. And in 1962, the Nigerian Legion was formed. The Nigerian Legion is a collegiate of ex-servicemen, whether who served in the Civil War, the war wars, and all the peacekeeping operations across the globe. The question is, after 15th of January, what happens? Everybody goes to sleep? Are there really activities that sustains or keeps activities going, or after 15th January, it remains lame, no activities, there's a lot of inactivity going on? So, in the spirit of the 50th anniversary of post-Civil War days and other activities that so many Nigerians sacrificed their lives for the sake of the oneness of Nigeria, we kept this episode of the program for now. So my guests to sustain the conversation celebrating our heroes, I have the National Chairman of the Nigerian Legion, Brigadier General Jones Akpa. Good to have you on Insight.
Thank you very much, sir.
And Ahmed Tijani. Ahmed Tijani is the CEO of Care for Heroes Initiative. Thanks for being on the program.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Now, we have always had it like a routine, like a ritual, more or less. They will launch the armed forces emblem, appeals will be made, and incidentally, you are one group that is so privileged to have all Nigerian presidents and commander-in-chiefs to be your patrons.
Grand patron.
Grand patrons.
Yes.
How far, how well, where are we with your group after the 15th of January, mostly this year?
Thank you very much for that question. It's a very apt question. First of all, you have to have information to make use of something that will move you forward. The program had been on, as you mentioned, from all the other, some of them are still alive, thankful. But each of them have their style. At the moment, which is where we are talking about, Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces have been so passionate about it. First and foremost, he's part of us, he's part of the heroes, he has watched it. So he has exposed it in such a way that everybody should key into it passionately. Why? These are people who paid the ultimate price so that Nigeria can survive and move forward, so that we can have unity, we can have peace, we can have progress, we can take people off the streets. And the Enlightenment has caught up, particularly with you, the press. I want to thank you also. So this year, apart from marking that special 50th anniversary, which is a very big landmark, there are more people who are aware of what it represents or what it stands for. So we are grateful to everybody and want the press to carry it forward. I'm also the new administration in the Nigerian Legion has caught up with it. Because when we came on board, the first thing we said was that we must appeal to everybody. We must tell everybody what we are. We must also know where everybody is, so we can help. We can help. And if we know what your issues are, it is easier to resolve.
Okay, if you know what your issues are, it's easier to resolve.
Yeah.
Now, the resource base of most countries, I had a chat sometime with the ambassador of Korea in Nigeria, and he told me that the resource base of Korea, the secret of Korea is the fact that they fall back to their retired eggheads, retired technocrats, retired military men. Now, of what use is the Nigerian Legion? Because today you have former combatants, former generals, former commanders in the Nigeria. With the security challenge in Nigeria, which government is doing everything to surmount, of what use has the Nigerian Legion been to the war on insurgency?
Well, that's another great question, and it is good that it is coming out. the Nigerian Legion, the act that established the Nigerian Legion, 1962 Act of Parliament, gave Nigerian Legion what no other ministry was given. We don't have subvention from government, just like the Iraq days of those days. It is this emblem appeal fund that what we realized from it, we used to take care of our colleagues, past living, widows, widowers, their children, dependents. So that cannot go a long way.
You don't run consultancy services?
No, we do. What I should tell you quickly is that before you ask me another question to get it lost, is that the same government have empowered us to conduct and participate in all activities, call it transportation, sea freighting, air freighting, estate development, industries, manufacturing. Which ministry had that? So we are supposed to utilize this to improve the lives of our members. But we also were affiliated to the World Veteran Federation. I know you just mentioned Korea. Korea is just one. United States, UK, in fact, the Asian countries, Italy, just name all. They all have legions which they cherish, they worship, they recognize what they have done. And we also are affiliated, so we also support ourselves. Philanthropists like Bill Gates, and we are asking the Nigerian philanthropists, the Nigerian Novo Rich, or even the other ones, to key in with Nigerian Legion. For instance, we have in our platform now to build estates, to also build hospitals that treat peculiar problems to the senior citizens of this country. And when we do this, who are those that give? All the states have been approached, and they will give land, including local government, so that we can establish these things. In fact, also to have a hospital that will have a helipad that can take care of people who are critically ill, and we don't have such facilities here, so that you can fly them to other areas. And you know, like the air ambulance, they are not in one place.
Okay.
They are. Yeah.
I'll come back to you.
Yes.
Mr. Tijani, you are the CEO of Care for Heroes Initiative in Nigeria. Is it an African affair or just Nigeria?
It's Nigeria for
Nigeria, beautiful. So what informed the formation of this body?
Well, we realized that, first of all, I've lost some friends in the battle, and some of my colleagues who have lost different people. And so we came together as a group to set up this initiative called Care for Heroes Initiative. We have lawyers, doctors, retired generals, retired officers on board, and we are working to see how we can, first of all, appreciate the Nigerian military through different initiatives that we've come up with, and also, by extension, to support families that they've left behind. And so that's why we're set up, and that's the direction we're looking at. Okay,
so when you say you form part of this to appreciate the Nigerian military, how?
Well,
is it that you just go ahead?
Well, as you would agree with me, the military is really underappreciated in Nigeria. If you travel around, you'd understand exactly what I'm saying. If you go to airports in the US, when military people come around, they are applauded, they are announced when they are getting into aircraft and all that kind of stuff. In Nigeria, we bring in sentiments and politics. And I think, in fairness to the military people, they're fighting irrespective of where they come from. And they're fighting to protect lands that is not their place of origin. And so by looking at that, I think it is important we keep our sentiments aside and come all out to support and appreciate our military.
You heard me talk about the fact that every year after in short, between December and January 15th, you hear so much. You see promos, everybody has, in short, NTA carries it on the head. We are at the forefront of it. All our presentations, we have the emblem badge on, all in keeping faith with your legacies, in keeping faith with what you stand for. The question that I asked you before now, within the ambit of your group, you have former combatants, you have former commanders of battalions, generals, all that. How well is your resource base helping in the insurgency war in Nigeria? Are you being consulted? Are you involved somehow?
I like that. Thank you again. And like I told you, we are not on subversion list.
I agree with that.
Of the Nigerian government. But the same government have given us areas that we can do and even surpass and support the government so that we can also help ourselves, our colleagues, and others. This opportunity they have given us to establish all legitimate businesses will bring value added. We will utilize those things. Like I said, when we start building all these estates and the government again remind them to give us land when we come, they shouldn't give us where are unhabitable. Give us some place that will also help your state, because it will develop your state in the first place. It will also bring all this initiative to function. So when we have this, all hands on deck, not just one thing.
I understand. The point I'm making is, I said, you have told me this before now, and the question now is, with the security challenge we have in Nigeria, which the government is doing everything to surmount, is the Nigerian Legion, based on the resource base you have, been helpful in all this?
Yes.
We are just there.
No, we are not just there.
So how helpful have you been?
Well, what we realize from all that we garner is utilize to take care of scholarship of some of the people that have lost their loved ones, the widows that are there, and you saw, to take care of the widows. It may not be that much, but the point is, we also say, let us know where you are. If we don't know where you are, we can't help you. So we establish a database which we are capturing everybody now. So we don't have fake people claiming to be widows or children of this thing. When we do that, we will know the type of support that each person needs. There are some people, particularly those who have suffered from this post-traumatic disorder, what they do is that 100% you have to take care of them because you don't even know where they are. There are some that you have to assist 50%, they will go up. There are some that are even rich, comfortable, that can even contribute. And we partner with them to multiply their yield so that we use that to empower people. Empowerment in agriculture, agro-allied industries, empowerment in industries, manufacturing, like our plans for inland waterways, road transport. All the things we get from there, the benefits go to the Legion. Not all. Some will be used to oil the machinery. Others will be used to do empowerment.
So what right now is in your front burner? What are you doing currently that is like an initiative you're running?
Well,
currently,
the Humanitarian Day, we reached out to people, the military, which you must know. All the professionals you think about in this world, they are there. And many of them served and left. Some left quite early. So we use the services of these people to promote good health, to promote neighborliness, to teach, to tell people that, yes, we are all one. We're in the same country. Nigeria is our country. We don't have any other one. Sing the song that Nigeria is singing, the current administration is singing. We must rely on ourselves. And as we get more people to key in, that's why I also tell you that all the Novo-rich or all the wealthy people in Nigeria, key into it, small. It will go round. Then all of us will know that it is only when we are together that we can move forward. That if there's peace, there will be prosperity.
Okay.
Yeah.
You talked about an initiative you're about to run. What informed it, and what is it going to look like? Is it going to be just an Abuja-based initiative, or is it going to be a national initiative that cuts across the 6 geopolitical zones, cuts across the 36 states? And where will the emphasis be? Will it be away from the theater of operation, or it will be spread across?
Well, thank you very much. Like I've said in different programs I've attended, after the Farm Fair, or every January 15th, everybody disperses and everybody goes home and faces their business. So what we have thought about this year for Care for Heroes is that we're coming up with an initiative called Winning Together. And Winning Together has 3 components. One is musical concerts to appreciate the military. The second component is football, which we call Heroes Cup. And then the third component would be...
Will it be a national competition?
Yes.
Okay.
So the third one is the award and gala. Now, the concert, we're taking it to the 6 geopolitical zones. Hopefully, we're at the point of talking with the military authorities. Once we have the go-ahead, we intend to take the concert to the 6 geopolitical zones where you have military formations. We'll partner with the formations on the ground to present the event. Now, the event would be a combination of upcoming artists, A-list artists, and hopefully kids within the barrack communities that want to go into music or any of the arts. Would also, the football Heroes Cup would commemorate the Army Remembrance Day, because we're talking with the Army now. And then the concept of the Heroes Cup basically is to bring military and civilian teams together to play a tournament, a football tournament, where we would try to promote interaction between the military and civilian, because as you would agree with me, the military is a bit far from the civilian population. And so we need to try to bridge that gap, bring them together and try and create that relationship between the military and civilians. And the third part is the award and gala. The award is for us to bring captains of industries, retired military and serving military people in one hall and try to tell them about our program and where we want to get the program to. And also try to honor some of the military men that have fought so hard to keep this country together.
How do you intend to get the... How are you going to determine who wins what and how?
We'll determine, based on our partnership with the military, the Department of Civil Military Cooperation at the Army Headquarters. We do not have the information as to who performed in battle and all that, so we would rely on the Army, and that's why it's a partnership.
No, when some people talk about the military, they cut across. When some people talk about the military, they restrict. Are you cutting across, or you just...
Well, we're cutting across, but we're starting, hopefully, with the Nigerian Army.
Okay. With the experience you have so far with Care for Heroes initiative in Nigeria, how best can our heroes be taken care of besides what you're doing?
Well, I think at the national level, at the highest level, we need to review their present conditions, because without that review, you cannot determine what they need. And so if you do that review, you'll be able to determine exactly what they need. I think the Legion might be doing their own bit, but I think this should be a national effort to look into the issues of these veterans. I'm looking at welfare systems for them. I'm looking at, hopefully, good medical care. We need to get these people on board. We need to look after them. You know, we need to provide for them. And so a lot of them are aged, they're a bit old now. You know, so I think it might be wise for the country to look into proper health care for them. Because you would agree with me that there's health insurance that we should be able to key into, you know, on behalf of these veterans that fought so hard to keep our country as...
How well are you in sync with your state branches? Are you working with your state branches?
Thank you very much. Like I said, the Nigerian Legion is for the nation and for the world. He talked about partnership, all these things. You are with a partner already. We all know that it is important for us to work together. It's all hands on deck. Even building a ship, so many things come from different countries and so many professionals that brings a good ship down. So in this era, it is very, very apt that the country, Nigeria, has recognized the fact that we must all work together so that we can help ourselves. Government alone cannot do it. Individuals alone, yes, they will contribute, but if we all come together, we will achieve more. We welcome all partners. Sometimes there are some smaller outfits that we even approach them. Come and let's share one or two things. But sometimes we don't restrict, we don't discriminate. We are gender friendly. All our concern is that you have the expertise to contribute something for the benefit of the Nigerian Legion. And this year, as we are talking now, it's not like before. You have had this kind of programs before. But now, after the 15th, we are still talking as if it's still on. So we want everybody to know that it is not going to be a one-off thing and the 15th January thing or 11/11 in some other countries that our people are affiliated to. It is continuation. We'll link up with the railways, we'll link up with the road. We also have that already. We have franchise for road transportation. And why do they do that? Because the military are disciplined. They will not want, in fact, all their vehicles that they give franchise to are tracked, so they cannot, deviate. It could reduce this kidnapping, these so many things. So that partnership is there. It's part of moving us forward to the next level. We'll continue to do that. Like agriculture, a lot of people didn't know that if they study physics, they would think maybe only something related to physics that will come. When you come out there, you discover that what you have read, you may not even utilize it. That's only exposed you to knowledge. So you'll be willing, agriculture, before you know, you have interest in it. So government is doing a lot to make everybody realize that all of us don't have to go and wear tie. If you like, you can wear tie and farm. These days, farm is not like what it used to be. Farming is not something that is derogatory. It's fantastic. Manufacturing. We are even allowed by the constitution I put us there to have radio stations, sure, television stations. We are not going to compete with you, but it will be healthy competition. The more we have, the more that the benefits will be for the society.
Okay. Tijani, if you start something from your own perspective, I imagine, I expect that you're purely on the private sector basis, right? And you're interfacing with the military. Don't you have other private sector groups, stakeholder groups that you're working with? And on the second leg, would you say truly that you appreciate the way Nigerians, or maybe by extension Africans, treat ex-servicemen? And if you think they're not properly taken care of in terms of appreciating them the way they should, like we see in other climes, how can we move off from there?
Yeah, thank you very much. Care for Heroes, we've built partnerships across board. We're in partnership, for instance, with Cedar Crest Hospital, where we've sent a few old ex-servicemen to them for medical care, and Cedar Crest is doing that free of charge for some of the people we've sent. We have other partners like Zeal Host Consulting. They are training military widows at the moment. They've trained over 250. We have other partners, even in the Nollywood, and some singers that have come up with different initiatives around how we can promote the plight, especially of widows, because when we talk of the fallen heroes, we also have to also remember that they left families behind. So we're focusing on the widows, military widows, through some of our partners to see how we can better their lives. On our own part, Care for Heroes, we have adopted 6 families, and we're paying school fees, house rent, medicals for them. And these 6 families we have picked is like a pilot. We wanted to try this on our own, using our own personal resources, from me, my partner Aisha, and some of our friends. And over the past 2 years, we've been doing this program. The NGO has been there for over 3 years. So with the successes we've recorded, we're trying to now bring in more people to support this initiative. And what I've done as a CEO is, as much as possible, try to attract partnerships. And we've positioned Care for Heroes in a way that people are attracted to us, and we get different calls every day for different partnerships. And all these partnerships are meant to improve the lives of the military widows and some of the old soldiers. And so we have people that are talking of medical outreach in partnership with us, somewhere in Kefi, where you have a lot of retired soldiers, to check. A few of them are blind as we speak, to check how we can salvage some of them that are also going blind. So we're doing all this, and we hope that with what we're setting, people will join up and see how they can do their own little bit. I think the problem might be very enormous, but if everybody puts in their little bit, I think we can get somewhere.
Okay. If everybody puts in their little bit, we'll get somewhere. Now, you have talked about Care for Heroes initiative. What attitude should Nigerians show of our heroes?
Yes,
those who have laid their lives for us.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think at the moment Nigerians are not showing much appreciation. Again, it might be an issue of lack of education about what the military is doing. So part of our advocacy is to reach out through different platforms to tell the world and to tell Nigerians that these men and women are sacrificing their lives and they're giving up everything so that we can live in peace. They have sleepless nights so that we can sleep with our eyes closed. So we need to educate the public. We need to take this campaign to schools, so we can catch them young, so that they begin from a young age, begin to appreciate the military.
So besides what we talked about and meeting Brigadier General Jones Akpa here, how do you take off from here?
Yeah,
you're meeting him now.
Yes,
synergy created already from here.
Yes, like the general said, we will go into a partnership, and I would, as much as possible, with every ounce of energy I have, I'll try and drive that partnership to a logical conclusion. And what I would expect is, in the days and the weeks ahead, we'll begin to share our programs with the Legion to see how they want to come in. And so the more, like I said, the better for everybody.
Okay.
But we're taking those programs with every passion and commitment, and we're taking it to the end.
Okay. Now, you have talked, we know that this thing has always been like a routine, but this time you talked about Mr. President showing a lot of passion. Do you think if this is exhibited based on the passion he has shown, there will be some changes after now?
Of course, the changes are already there. Otherwise, we won't be sitting here now talking about what has gone. We would have been waiting for the next January 15. So the changes has taken place. The interest shown by not only Mr. President, our Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, all the governors have shown equal zeal, more than what they have done before.
Not waiting until this 15th of January?
No, but last year there was something, but now it's more. There are donation and commitment and entities to people to key in, to tell them what the Legionnaires have done, that why we should celebrate them. It has helped a lot, and you know, apart from that, I just didn't mention, but it is very key to it. You know, the veterans, the Legionnaires, most of them, they have spent all their time. They didn't. Most of them were serving in different places, even at peacetime or wartime. But most of them don't have houses where to go to after the barracks. What most of them knew was just the barracks. They didn't know that one day they will leave.
But we have a lot of post-service
housing. It's not
now.
enough. It's not enough if you look at it. And with insurgency and with this asymmetric warfare that is all over the place.
But these houses you're talking about, how will you fund it? Because the funding capacity remains a problem.
No, funding capacity is this partnership. It's not only, government cannot build house for everybody. Most of the people who are doing this are partnering with us are private individuals, philanthropists. And they have done it very well in many other countries, like we just mentioned Korea, even in America. And it's just little things. And when you bring them together, it forms a big, huge something. Like in the big supermarkets, Mart, all these things. The Legion have something there that, oh, you just put. You don't have to wait till 15th of January. Or even, so everybody knows that this is it. Like in some big malls too, we have corners where things manufactured by these professionals from the Legion, those who are helping them, which we call the Corps of Commissioners.
People know about it? Or about
yes, people are knowing about it now. You know, we're old, like he said. Most of us dilapidated, can hardly see. I was escorted there, I was brought here. But we have some other younger ones who left, maybe after a few years. They are still young. Their profession is still there. They are the ones that help. We call them the Corps of Commissioners, which we have established in some states of the Federation. In fact, the whole Federation now is only about 7 states in the north, in the northeast, that they are not there.
Let's look at concession. Would you say that we have had enough concession for our ex-servicemen?
Well, to be very straight about it, I don't think we have. I think we can do better.
Some people feel they have so much.
I think we can do better. I think the
Do
private...
you agree with me that some people feel they have so much?
Yes, some people assume they have so much. But if you get close to them, you know that there's so much that needs to be done for them. We have, like I said, a country that is not so much aware of the sacrifices of the military men. If you compare them with their counterparts in other countries, you would agree with me that the gap is really wide in terms of welfare and how they take care of them. The private sector too has to do more, you know, and the Legion and other NGOs have to come together, you know, to do more for our ex-servicemen.
Now, let's look at beyond January 15, 2020. What are we looking at by the time we get to January 15, 2021?
Yeah, for Care for Heroes, I've told you,
forward now.
I've told you some of the initiatives we've come up with. We have other partners too that also have approached us with different initiatives. We have Forces Reward, an organization that came up with a discount card for the military. We're looking into that. Hopefully we'll roll that out. And
how does that work?
Yeah, for military people, if they go to shops that we've partnered with, they can get some discount. I think that will go a long way to raise their morale. You know, we have other partners.
Those serving or out of service?
It depends on how...
Well, on the arrangement and the agreement.
Yes, it depends on how they embrace it.
Okay.
You know, it depends on how the system embrace it. The Legion, the military, you know, the ex-service people, it depends on how they embrace it. And so we'll be taking some meetings hopefully soon with them. We have another organization that approached us, Max Digital. They have a concept. Nigerian-based. They have a concept to do a movie, and this movie would be around the life of a military man that maybe lost his life in battle and how his family were able to carry on. You know, so this movie, the concept is to engage some of the women within the barrack community to make instant stars out of them. So they will be participating in the movies, they will be auditioned, and then they will be trained. And so hopefully a few of them will make it to the movie, and then would have them become instant stars, because they'll be in a movie that will become very popular, hopefully, and they will act alongside very popular Nigerian actors.
Okay. Now, so before we go, General, sir,
Yes.
before we tie up this segment of the program, what projection do you have by the time we are celebrating the next Armed Forces Remembrance Day? Will you have achieved so much mileage with the programs you have on ground?
Yes. Well, I wish when we started this program, I thought we had too much time. I wish we have more time so that we can tell you all the things we are doing.
Okay.
First of all, this partnership is very vital. It's with private sector, with the captains of industries, with government, other parastatals. That brings us together. That will make us know the requirement, the need for us to all work together to get something. For instance, we have some partners, even now, we call them NAPAS, National Personal Asset Acquisition Scheme. It operates in the 19 northern states. What they do for us, it's difficult to go to the shop and buy something in cash, pay, carry a car, buy a box, completely pay. These people have broken it down to us that the repayment period is friendly. You don't have to wait until you save all the money before you buy a bed, buy this. So what they do for us is they give us some of these items on hire purchase, but far, far less interest rate than the normal business people do. For instance, they give keke napep, motorcycles, trucks, hired buses, cars, that by the time you take this thing, the repayment period will not drive you to go and quench yourself. It is 2 years, where others give 1 year, they give 2 years. Okay. We also have Mike Marvelous. Mike Marvelous is a big printing house. They do so many things together with us.
Okay, how do we make it better for them, in conclusion?
Well, we have to put our heads together, come up with programs and common sense approach to how we can generate resources to support these people. For Care for Heroes, we are at the forefront of making sure the welfare of the widows, especially, and some of the old soldiers are looked after. And we have set up a fund called the Heroes Fund. And what that fund does basically is to tie some of their needs to resources, and would use our network to drive we'll use our network to get some of the resources to solve some of those particular problems. And so for the fund, the unique thing we've done is that for every money that goes into the fund, 100% of that money is used for what it is meant for.
Okay, thank you so much. Ahmed Tijani, CEO, Care for Heroes Initiative. So it was nice chatting with you on Insights.
Thank you very much.
And also Brigadier General Jones Akpa, National Chairman, Nigerian Legion. We hope and believe that this time around, it is not going to be inactivity, but activity to the next Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Thank you so much for doing the program.
Thank you for having me.
Up next on Insight is the media review segment, still on the issue. Stay with us.